Hi, I'm Britton Taylor, and you're listening to Verse by Verse. When I was a youngster, this was before I began to study the Bible, when I would hear the word fast, I would think speed. I would think of a foot race or maybe a fast car. I'm older now, and I've been blessed to have studied the Bible for many decades. I've learned so many valuable things by studying the Bible, and I've learned so many things about myself when I turn to the Scriptures. Now, when I hear the word fast, I think of something very different than only a foot race or a contest. Of course, the context comes into play, but added to my vocabulary is a definition of the word fast that I want to share with you today. For our discussion, the word fast that we will look at means not to eat. In fact, in Bible terms, a religious fast is to refrain from both food and drink. Normally, the duration of a fast is a day, 24 hours, typically from sunset to sunset. In particular, this is how the fast is done on the Day of Atonement. Those guidelines are mentioned in Leviticus chapter 23. Of course, there are other fasts mentioned in the Bible apart from the Day of Atonement. All of the fasts that are mentioned have several things in common. The one commonality we will look at today is the role of humility when one chooses to fast. Here is what Psalms 35, verse 13 says, "But as for me, when they were sick, my clothing was sackcloth. I humbled myself with fasting, and my prayer would return to my own heart." This passage sets a tone for how the spiritual tool of fasting can be used. Fasting is without question a tool that a Christian should use when he or she wants to draw close to God. When an individual fasts, being hungry is a part of the experience. Exodus 23 refers to fasting on the Day of Atonement this way: "You are to afflict your souls." When you don't eat and don't drink for a protracted period of time, you will be hungry, and you will be thirsty, and you will be in a physically weakened state. That's all a part of the process of being made humble. We are human beings, and we have to eat and consume water to sustain life. When we deny ourselves food and drink, we are physically diminished. We realize that we are just that, physical. We don't compare to the glory, power, and strength of our Father in heaven. He is spirit, and we are not. God possesses all power and glory. When we fast, things are put in proper perspective. We rely on God to maintain us spiritually, as we rely on food and drink to maintain us physically. Yes, I feel really low when I fast, but that's a good thing. I need to be humbled because I do not always have a humble approach to life and to my relationship with God. Fasting is a tool that has been presented to me in Scripture. We reap handsome rewards when we embark on a spiritual fast, wanting to become humble in the eyes of God. If you haven't fasted for a while, or if this fast will be your first time, either way, let me encourage you to use fasting to seek closeness to our Father as we are humbled before Him.
Verse by Verse is a companion podcast to the Daily Bible Verse blog, which you can find on the Life, Hope, and Truth Learning Center. Check out the show notes for more.